Hello, welcome to another ramble. I positioned my camera in such a way so that I didn't have to hold it and I wasn't so close, but now you have like this crystal that's definitely taking center stage. So, which is fine. This is a beautiful crystal. Let's just concentrate on that. Today, I've decided to make a recording after some time of not recording anything. I don't know. I don't know what motivates me to make recordings. Sometimes it's just life. Life happens and then I just feel the need to speak on it. But um this recording is going to revolve around some things that have been happening lately, and it has to do with relationships, it has to do with this year, it has to do with everything. It's just going to be like a compilation of things that I have learned during this year. First of all, I've made recordings on this, I'm sure. When it comes to relationships, I think the best relationship you can have is with yourself. And I know, like, some people will be like, well, that's kind of self-centered. And, well, yeah, it probably is. And if you think about it, you are the predominant person who projects reality into existence, So based on your perceptions, based on your inner atmosphere, based on what you're telling yourself, based on what your belief systems currently are, your preferences, you are absolutely projecting your reality onto your experiences, onto the people you interact with, etc. So I think to some degree, even though there should be a balance in like the attention that you give to others, but most especially it should definitely always come back to yourself. And I think that a lot of the people you encounter in life are just mirrors. And I've made recordings on this as well to show you where you currently are as far as your operating system in life. So if you're coming across like toxic people, I feel like that term gets thrown around so easily. I mean, is something really toxic, or is it just teaching you something within yourself that's toxic? Because I feel like you'd only be attracted to something that's toxic if there's something inside of you that's toxic that needs to be like assessed and possibly healed, you know? So yeah, like I feel like, okay, so INFJs, let's go back to INFJ and yeah, categorize ourselves again, which I absolutely don't like, but it's the easiest way to come to a logical understanding of how you operate in the world, right? INFJs, I think, have a really hard time making connections with people. This is very true. I feel like, based on what I've learned this year, we want to have connections with people, but we have certain standards that we uphold. Like, this person needs to be genuine, this person needs to be authentic and sincere and have my best interests in mind, because that's what I feel I do for others. And it's really hard to come across such people because everybody has their own thing going on, and like, they're thinking about themselves too. Like, what is best for me? I want to, like, what is that called? Everybody's an opportunist, including yourself. Maybe not, you're not as extravagant about it as some other people are, but we still are opportunists. We're looking for opportunities to connect with people on a deep and authentic level so that we can, I don't know, feel like we are a part of something. I don't know. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. But yeah, so this year I've had extreme highs and extreme lows regarding social interactions. And when it was good, it was good. And then I don't know if I self-sabotaged that, because I have found out I have anxious attachment issues in relationships. I feel like it's bordering on anxious attachment and fearful attachment. And on my journey this year, I met a dismissive, avoidant attachment person. And we got super close. Felt like I finally met a bestie, but we just attracted each other due to like the toxicity that we had within ourselves that needed to be revealed and shown and experienced. And you know, it's funny, I don't really get mad at people anymore. Like, I don't know if you guys are the same way, but I think like because we have anxious avoidant attachment issues, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to definitely look that shit up. Look it up, understand it, and you'll understand why your relationships go the way they go. I feel like when you have an avoidant attachment style, you definitely set yourself up for sabotage when it comes to relationships, you know? So anxious avoidant attachment basically is where the people pleasing comes in, you know? So I think you will agree INFJs are people pleasers. So that's just another categorization, another angle to understand your personality type and your operating system. But yeah, I feel like I've self-sabotaged most of my connections with people because of my attachment style. And now that I'm aware of it, I'm definitely trying to rewire my brain to approach things in a more healthy manner, if that even makes sense. Yeah. Another thing, I feel like we tell ourselves we have trust issues. I don't think we have trust issues. I think, well, actually, wait a second. Let me reframe that. I think you believe you have trust issues until you change the dialogue and realize that you do trust people, you trust them, you trust what they show you, you know? I think in the beginning phases of this INFJness, like we have like these like open hearts, and we're very trusting, and we're very gullible, and we always see the good things and the good side of things, or the good things in people. And then we get burned, like we get burned for being so gullible and trusting, and then we start having trust issues. These are the phases I went through. We start having trust issues, but now it's not even about having trust issues for me. It's about seeing people as they are, and they will show you who they are all the time, not. And the thing is, you have to step away from, well, not step away, but step back from your belief system of I don't trust people because I've been burned over and over again. You have to step back from that belief. And then you also have to step back from the belief of, oh, I'm just trying to look for the good in people. Because that's one-sided, and that's a very distorted way of experiencing anything, because you're just kind of like projecting your ideal expectation onto a person or thing or situation, and you're missing the whole picture, and then you're like getting disappointed or resentful or angry because you got burned. But the thing is, you just weren't seeing things clearly, and that's a fact. So now I don't get mad. I cleared a lot of like anger and resentment out of my system. Now I just kind of like low-key get disappointed, and I feel like I'm working on clearing that out of my system to the point where I would just be like radically accepting everything as it shows up, and then a lot of the times we get it twisted. Like we think that we're doing something wrong. Like, say like you have a connection with someone, whether it be work or familial or friendship or like romantic, whatever. Say like something goes awry in this connection. I think we have a tendency to immediately go into like, oh, what did I do wrong? Like, what can I do better? Like, how could I have handled the situation better? You've been putting so much work on pleasing people. It's nothing to do with you. A lot of times it's people projecting their shit on you and blaming you, and you allowing yourself to accept the blame, when in actuality, I've learned that, hey man, I've done like a lot, like, you know how we're like loners? We spend a lot of time in our head, self-assessing, I don't know, like becoming more aware, expanding our consciousness on our operating system. You know, like, so it's like I kind of already know how I operate. So, and I know that I prioritize harmony and peace. So when something is going awry, a lot of times I'm like, okay, this person has issues. It's not personal. And they need to deal with that, because I know I'm not creating any pain. I think the only thing that we may be imbalanced with is making people feel comfortable. And let me elaborate on that. So we go out of our way to make people comfortable and to make things easier for people, because we don't like discord. We want harmony, right? So we are harmonizers. We want to, like, if somebody's having an issue or a problem or a situation that's creating discord, we want to get in there and put our hands in there and try to like make them happy so that we can be happy, right? That is a fact, because I've been doing it for most of my life. A lot of times when people have issues, it has nothing to do with you. And a lot of times when you go and you stick your finger in that pot, you're interfering with their lesson. And people don't like that shit. On a subconscious level, they don't like that, because you're like taking away from their lesson. You're taking away from their experience that they need to have in order to acquire the lesson. You know, you're like prematurely saving, and you're interfering with their process. Best way to deal with people is just hang back. You know, and if they're having issues, or you can sense that they're heading down the wrong road, like, I think our like knee-jerk reaction is to like, oh no, I gotta warn them, or I gotta help them, or I gotta save them, I gotta do something. Don't do anything. Just let people be. Let people experience life. Let people do what they need to do in order to level up. By you interfering, you're actually interfering with that process, and subconsciously they know that. And I think that's why people get defensive, or that's when you allow yourself to get into situations where you feel used or taken for granted, because you're fucking like doing so much for other people. They're not asking for your help. You're just doing it because you feel like, oh, this is the identity I've created and I need to help. No, you really need to take a step back and just really look at how you're operating, and even if you're in a place where like, I hate people, I don't think you really hate people. I think you just probably resent the fact that you're unable to make connections with them in a way that you would like, and so it's easier to just like project hate. Like, don't get me wrong, I like my alone time, and I think alone time is very essential. I don't come to the revelations that I come to well, sometimes I do when I'm around people, but a lot of times, like, I'll just be chilling by myself, and like, I'll get downloads. I'm like, oh, that I probably wouldn't have gotten if I was with people. Although I have gotten downloads when I'm with people, so I can't say that that's absolutely true. But I've allowed myself to heal a lot of things within myself. I've allowed myself to recognize my current belief systems and my operating systems, and discard things I don't like, and rewire myself to operate in a more healthy and wholesome manner during my alone time. You know, because there's no interference of other people's energy around me, and so I can really see my shit clearly. You know, I've also come to okay, I'm not gonna lie, I do to some degree love connecting with people. At first it was kind of biased where I'm like, I just want to be around people who are on the same frequency as me. But then I realized that, there's so many people in the world that are not on your frequency, and these people have something to teach you if you're open to learning, you know? Um, you just need to like put yourself out there sometimes. And a lot of times when it's uncomfortable, that's when you have the most opportunity to grow, you know? I'm not saying do that all the time, but I definitely notice that like I get to a point where like I spend a lot of time alone and I feel very comfortable, but I also get to a point of dissatisfaction, and then I feel the need to have to get out there and socialize. And then when I go out there and socialize, I may encounter people that I vibe with. I may not encounter people that I don't vibe with, but they're all good opportunities to enhance thyself, So if you encounter people that you vibe with, there's so many things you can learn from that. You can learn like, oh wow, so there are people out there that are on the same wavelength as me, and but at the same time, I'm not going to get attached to them, because that would lead to suffering. Trying to attach yourself to something because it feels good. Um, and then also like not trying to force any connections. I feel like connections are either going to fall together or fall apart. Also, I've learned, and I've made a video on this, dude, nice people who come off as nice, damn, you gotta like really watch out for those guys. They're sneaky. Yeah. And I've been guilty of falling for that trickery. So like, how like a lot of times we feel lonely. We're not really lonely, even though we feel lonely. And then you just gotta recognize, oh, I feel lonely and this feels like shit, but it's part of life, and this feeling, the sensation, it'll come and it'll go. And that's that. When it visits, then you let it visit. When it's time to leave, then it leaves. But you don't get like so wrapped up on like, oh, I feel so alone, nobody understands me. Fuck it. You'll have moments where you feel like that, and then you'll have moments where like you're fucking happy that you're by yourself. Man, we are so lucky to have so much time to ourselves, because we will like discover things within ourselves that most people won't ever even taste. We go like deep within ourselves, and most people haven't even like touched the surface of themselves, and they don't understand what they want and what they don't want, and what they like and what they don't like, what they will participate in and what they won't participate in. They're still kind of like lost, whereas we're kind of like clear on like, oh, I like this, I don't like this, I want to participate in this, I don't want to participate in this, and oh yeah, this triggers me. Why am I triggered? Oh, okay, that's why. Like we get to like delve deep into like the different dimensions of ourselves, whereas most people don't even get to witness even like the surface level of themselves. And when you ask them questions, they're just like, I don't know, which is very puzzling to me. But at the same time, I realize that, oh, it's just because they don't take the time to like know themselves, and I realized that being able to take time to just sit with yourself is such a precious commodity, without the phone, without the distractions, just being with yourself. Like, I don't think many people can do it, but that's where the real treasure lies, when you tap into yourself. But anyways, I'm getting off the subject. Yeah, people open different dimensions within you that you wouldn't be able to open yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. So like, like the interactions I had this year have definitely taught me a lot, and I wouldn't have learned all this stuff if I hadn't had like the external interaction with people, and it's great. I don't know if this video made sense. I feel like I was all over the place, which is a normal thing, I suppose, for me in my mind. But yeah, if you learned something cool, if you didn't, cool. Oh, nice people. Be careful, because they're masters of manipulation. I think, yeah, I think you can relate to that too. I think we are also masters of manipulation. I think what sets us apart from like maybe another manipulator is the fact that when we manipulate, we're trying to like create a win-win situation with everyone involved. But there's other people out there that are also skilled manipulators that are just in for themselves. Be careful, because I fell for it. In fact, I think I've fallen for it many times over. But you know, like, I'm at a place in my life where I feel like I've kind of like leveled up. Unfortunately, or fortunately, this is, I guess, a good thing. I was duped again most recently, and that just made me realize that I still have a lot to learn. You know, the growing never ends, and I think you already know that. But you know, just when you think that, oh yeah, I've done enough work and I'm at a place where I'm a master or the captain of my own ship. Yeah, people will fucking blindside you and show you that, yeah, you still got a lot to learn. So this happened recently, um, at my workplace. And I met somebody. She was super cool, super nice. I felt like we had a lot of chemistry going on. Like, oh wow, this person is like the bestie I've always been looking for. And within a blink of an eye, the connection went south real fast. And now I don't trust this person. Actually, I trust everything she shows me. And because I was blindsided with my projection of her being kind and nice and thoughtful and good listener, and oh, this is like a potential new bestie, I got blindsided bad. This person is a snake. So just be careful. You know, don't trust so easily. Just because there's chemistry doesn't mean that it's good for you. They're just really good at manipulating you. Also, with relationships, let's talk about relationships. I thought I had mastered this too, but apparently I had work to do. Um, doesn't matter how good some a person. I don't know. How do I say this? Okay, it doesn't matter. Going back to chemistry, it doesn't matter how good the chemistry seems. Um, these people most often are using you, and you need to be aware of that. Once you start getting um, micro instances of behavior that does not sit well with you, oh, step back. Don't don't brush the flag off to the side and go, oh, but she's so nice or he's so nice. No, 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 no. Step back. And it happens in a micro moment. Step back. Um, if you notice this person is like listening more than they're saying, step back. It should be like reciprocation, you know? Because I feel like those people are just trying to like unravel the mystery that you are in order to garner information to use against you for their own best interests. Also, doesn't matter how good the chemistry is, because we fall for that shit, right? Oh my god, like I finally met somebody who like gets me. Doesn't matter how good the chemistry is. If they start like, you notice that they're giving you like breadcrumbs while you're like giving it your all, step out. Mm-hmm. it's probably not good for you. Or maybe they're just showing you some stuff that you still need to work on. Yeah. Anyways, 25 minutes. This has gone on for way too long. I have no idea if this video has any interesting anything on it. But thanks for listening if you've gotten this far. Blessings to one and all. Amen.